Hello, I'm Ruth Hansten, and I'm your instructor for the Professional Practice Specialist program. I'd like to talk to you now about Section 4, Organizational Review. So pull out your portfolio if you don't already have it there, and also pull out your Clinical Delegation Skills book and your ROC Planning and Implementation Manual. I'd like to just do a quick overview of what you've already accomplished because you're really doing great. You're through much of the coursework already. So remember at the beginning of the course we started with some self-reflection about your professional practice. We asked you to check your listening skills, to your learning style assessment, and to really think about your personal goals for the course. We also asked you then to start to look at your the actual expert practices of relationship and results-oriented healthcare, and also to look at what should be occurring as far as the teamwork goes in your own particular area. And so we introduced you to the tools such as the evaluation of team performance tool, also the tools that you can find in your appendices, so that you can look at some of those tools, like for example the indicator tool for the emergency department. So we asked you to find out how you might be working together with other people in your group, if you have a group, if you're not doing this individually, so that you can find out what kind of data you're evaluating related to how things are going in your particular area of practice on your shift. So as we now, remember, we're developing into internal consultants. We're taking that step back. We're saying, okay, I work here every day, but I'm going to remove myself for just a minute and do some observations, as if I were going into a new organization, to look at, okay, how are things going? Are we assigning the way we should be? Are we doing things the way we had hoped, and that are expert practices? So if you go to Section 4, Organizational Review, and that starts on page 24, depending on which iteration of the portfolio you've got. So now you're ready to start with this section, and you're about halfway done almost with the coursework right now. So as you look at your activities for this time, for Section 4, you're going to be reading Chapter 4 of the ROC Planning and Implementation Manual. You're going to be completing Worksheet 7 and reading Chapter 4 in the Clinical Delegation Skills text, if you're in the 4th edition of that. And then really completing the Worksheet 8, which is review of your State Practice Act and comparing it to the actual practice going on in your facility. So on to Worksheet 7. Worksheet 7 asks about your organization and thinking about what you're proud of in your organization, and then what issues are confusing to you, things that you're concerned about in the way things are done that you might want to address in your critical thinking problem that will be coming up in Section 6. And thinking about a vision for your department or your area of practice that you'd like to see occurring in the next year or so. And one of the, really helping you look at some things you might want to address if, in your own area of practice. So, Worksheet 8, we did ask you to look at your State Practice Act and also to look at the National Council of State Board of Nursing and the ANA's Joint Statement on Delegation and Supervision. You can see it that you can reach that and find that. It's complimentary. It's on the National Council of State Boards of Nursing website, ncsbn.org/joint statement. I've asked you on Worksheet 8 to think about which workers can do what tasks based on your State Practice Act. So if there are any levels of concern about that, let us know if you have questions, but be sure to check your State Practice Act. Before we move into Section 5, which is Patient and Family Partnerships, we want you to actually be sure that there are no concerns or questions about what kinds of individuals you're working with, whether it's patient care assistants, medical assistants, perhaps certified nursing assistants, or just registered nursing assistants. So find out if you have any questions about that. Okay, so this is Then you're done with worksheet 8, and when you're moving on then to section 5, which is patient and family partnerships. Thank you. And we'll be talking to you now about section 5.